Now, as I've continued on this, I want to do some thinking. I didn't want to just go from scratch. I wanted you to be able to understand why I was doing what I was doing, and I'm trying to stay on frame here. But I actually had to determine here from the top view what I want to do with this line right here. This is a metal piece that's a support on the top of the shank. That'd be this section here. But because of the height of the stone, you want to bring up this metal so that it absorbs some of the depth. So the stone doesn't look like it's up so high. Also, the small scroll piece that's right here with that little scroll at the end of it, that's this piece right here. That is kind of blending into the shank. So when you put it into the finger, this is going to measure 17.5 roughly, the hole in the finger, for the finger to go through, the lady's finger. And there can actually be a little bit of space, but as long as it touches in the top and say 50% of the bottom. Excuse me, I had my breakfast. You would do that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up, and I'll take my kneaded eraser, and I'm going to blot this a little bit to make it a little bit lighter, so I can clean up some of the extra pencil line that I've got. And just by blotting, you can still see the lines, and I'm going to take this, sharpen my pencil, which is with the mechanical sharpener like this. And I'm going to take this so I get a good sharp point, and then I'm going to take it gradually and go over the lines. Now let's start doing this. So we're going to go here. This has a crease in the top of this prong here. There's a crease that's going to run from top to bottom like this. Very sharp line running right down, and to give a very nice feeling to that prong coming down. Very, very strong. There's going to be the stone here itself, that from the top view, you can't see the metal frame that this stone is setting in. But underneath here, there is a wall that's coming down that is the top of the frame of the setting that's coming down. And you might see a little bit of the thickness of it here as it's coming toward the prong. This also will have maybe a little bit of the stone showing underneath, and these are some of the facets that are underneath the stone like this. Now, the top section, I'm going to do this first. No, I'm going to do the bottom section first. I want to go from the prong because I don't want it to get too high off the finger, the metal itself, and bring this metal around. Again, the paper is rotating as I've done before so that you get the nice curve with your hand because it'll follow the line nicely because of the curve of the way your hand works. The next line would be the one above. This is now the total metal thickness of the lower level of that bezel, of that frame, of that shank. It's the lower section. Too much paper in front of me. And now we come down the same way, paper turning slowly, gradually bringing the line around, nice sharp pencil. In fact, I might take a break here just to hear me sharpen. I rub it off on a piece of tracing paper just to bring the point back, and then I go to the next level. Bring this up like this, so you can see there's going to be a piercing between this, which is going to give it a nice, elegant look to the finished piece when they do the ring. Also here, this is going to be done on the top, and that brings the upper level to its completion as I come around, and that's the upper level of the shank that completes the look from the side view, and you have a nice, solid shank. In designing, the only thing that is not repetitious is the thinking process. You're thinking all the time as you're working, and deciding as you go along how and where you're going with what you're drawing. So with me, sometimes when I'm drawing, as I've done it for so many years, I think of other designs as I'm going along because something within a ring sometimes reminds you of something else. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this now. I can take this off because it's strong enough. We'll bring the other picture back in shortly and reconnect them again in a way that I can then scan them into the computer that will go to Illustrated Path. I have some lines on this side. I want to remove them. These lines I don't need anymore. That was just a startup. I'm going to turn this over the same way I did before, and I'm going to go with my fingernail, transfer this part because it's symmetrical, just like the top view is symmetrical, the side view is symmetrical. There's no change in this particular design. Sometimes there are designs that you want to do that are not symmetrical, they're asymmetrical. And that you have to go from beginning to end all by hand to do them. And the only thing you have to concentrate is the hole that the finger size that it goes through to make sure that it fits properly on the hand. So now I can use any fingernail. This one is comfortable in this position, so I'm using my second finger here to complete this rub off. Now let's see if we got it all. We pretty well got the whole thing. There's the whole drawing here complete now. Now we'll continue strengthening and making the lines stronger so we can see the design very clearly. So now we go like this. And to keep the video short, there's going to just be repetition. So I think I'm going to stop at this point and I'll continue in a minute.